Hello, people. Hi, guys. This is Ishika, your host for today's session. I welcome all of you in today's session of Thinker's Point. So we'll wait for another 1 minute to for everybody to join, and then we'll just start. Good evening, Divya. How are you? I hope you are safe at your place. Okay, so guys, today's session is on branding in business. So, I would like to know your views about branding. What do you think branding means? Just write down your views in the comment section and let's interact a bit. Okay, so let's start with the session. I would like to invite Miss Chahat Aggarwal, today's speaker for the session. Hello, ma'am. It is an honor to have you with us. Let me introduce Chahat, ma'am. Yeah. So, she is the Businesswoman of the Year 2020 by Business View magazine, Top 10 Women Entrepreneur of the Year by Forbes India, Entrepreneur of the Year 2020 by Indian Achievers Award, Most Promising Woman Entrepreneur of the Year 2020 by Aspiring She magazine, Editor's Choice Award International Competition of Poets and Library, Sydney, Student of the Year, Victory College of Design. Moreover, she is the founder of Study Impact Biz. Study Impact Biz is one of the major initiatives by ma'am where she helps companies to build their brands. So I welcome you, ma'am, and it's an honor to have you with us today.
Hi, Shika. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about this session and to tell people more about what branding is.
Yeah. So I think we can start. Okay. So Ansh says the branding is create our name. Okay. Let's see. Troubleshoot. Is it when is it? Yeah, we have just started. Good evening, Harshita. Shreya, creating unique identity. So Shreya says branding is creating unique identity. That's great. Okay. So I think we can start with the session, ma'am. So I really want to know, and I think our audience also want to know that what is branding actually? Like you
So,
have seen some,
yes, Cheryl actually said
yeah.
something like that's right, like to be unique, create a unique identity, but it's kind of more than that. In a simple
Okay.
word, branding is a perception. branding is not just about who you are or what your brand is or what your business is or what your product is or what offering you give, but it is about the perception of that particular service or product in a consumer's state of mind. Let me give you, let's start with an example. If
Yeah.
I say Coca-Cola, right? You get a sudden image of something happy. You just feel sudden interaction of friends. You want to, there are few keywords that just pops up in your head, right? So
Yeah.
what brand is? It's the holistic perception of your audience towards your company or your product or even as an individual. So that is what brand is. And people usually
Okay.
confuse branding as a logo. Do stop me. I'm going to keep on going otherwise.
No, no, you can.
Okay, so branding
Yeah.
is actually, people confuse branding with creating a logo or creating a design or creating a website or copy pasting mission and vision from like Google from 10 different companies, mixing it up and putting it on their own platform. But that's not what branding is at all. It is finding who you are as a product or as a company, defining what are the values you own, like what are your limits, what do you stand for, what do you do, and what makes you different. That's where the uniqueness comes in. Like what makes you different from the rest of the world
Yeah.
who's doing the exact same thing, and how you connect with people. That's what creates a perception. So that's what I call a real brand is.
Okay. So, ma'am, I would like to know, like, why is it important to have a brand or a branding for a business or an individual?
It is
Yeah.
very important because, okay, think of it this way. If I take a cup, a random cup, and I place it in front of you, do you feel anything with it? Do you connect with it? You can drink water in it,
No.
you can drink tea. Like it's a common cup, right? Now, if I
Yeah.
take a cup and I design, let's say I put a Starbucks logo on it, right? Now you know it's a coffee mug, okay? Or
Hmm.
if I take a
Yeah.
mug and put a Chai Point logo on it, now you know it's for tea, right? The whole objective is like the product, like creating, let's say, shampoo. If I give you a bottle of really, really best product in the shampoo, like in the shampoo industry, like it has like magical super abilities of not just like repairing your hair, but just like, I don't know, giving you superpowers of some sorts. If I give you that
Yeah.
in, no matter how pretty it is designed, if you have not heard about it, if you don't know what it does, if you're not clear about it, are you ever going to trust that product and use it?
No. I will not.
So
Yeah.
that's why you give branding is important because it gives you an identity, it gives you a purpose, it tells people what to expect from you, you know? So that's
Yeah.
why I would say that brand is the reason why you make money, and brand is the reason why you lose it. So it's the most important thing for your company. Number one reason why it is very important is that it generates loyalty. Because of the emotional connect, because of the offering that you're giving out to people, it connects loyal customers. So if you know people who always buy Apple, they will stay true to Apple. Just it's not just about the product. There can be thousands of other products better than this, but it's about the
Yeah.
emotion, it's about the feeling, it's about how they connect with the brand, how they feel understood with the brand. Hence, it creates a loyal customer. It creates new markets. So Dove did something very incredible. So instead of just selling soap, you know, it
Hmm.
sold a vision. It doesn't sell soap at all. It literally sells vision. People buy product. People buy Dove as a product because it's consistent from last 60 years. Sorry, last 30 years.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Even though their vision has changed, yes, first it was about selling a product which makes your skin soft. It still makes the skin soft, right? But they have added with time more virtues to it. It's about woman empowerment now. It's about accepting who you are. It's about redefining beauty. So creating a new market rather than just product. Like, yes, Apple is a product, it has that niche,
Yeah.
great. Dove created a community. It sells a product as well as it gives people more than that, it empowers them. So when you
Yeah.
brand your, you create a broader market rather than just a commodity, right?
Yeah.
Is whenever you are branding yourself, you create limits for your own self, right? If
Yeah.
I say I do 10 different things, and then later on I'll be like, oh no, I want to do this as well, I want to do that as well. Slowly and slowly, my own business, it's gonna vanish. It's not gonna be successful because I haven't set my boundaries with my brand. I haven't told myself what is it that I am aiming for, what is it that I'm working towards. Hence, it's very easy to change paths very quickly and like spread yourself too thin, and then end of the day, like create losses. You don't know what are your restrictions and what are your reach, and brand
Yeah.
provides that. So I think branding is one of the most crucial stage of most crucial part of any business. And most of the companies, this is a very common mistake, which it really annoys me to say. It's like it's so frustrating to see. It's so simple, but yet people just skip ahead of it because they don't understand the importance. People strictly go towards building a logo. They think, as I said, branding is building a logo, right? So they're like, oh, we did our branding. Look at this. I have a logo. I have a tagline, so on and so forth. No, that is not. You always start with the brand strategy because that defines your persona, that defines your values, that defines like it's a basic foundation. And brand strategy is built creating in mind your business, your audience, and your product all together, while going directly to, let's say, advertising or marketing or designing. Those are steps which are much later. Yes, they are essential for your brand, 100%, but unless and until you create a core concept of who you are targeting, who you are, what do you want out of this company, it's not gonna be successful. That's one of the reasons why, if there are 8 companies which are open, 5 of them are gonna fail just because they did not put any effort in brand strategy. That's
Yeah.
what we have seen. Every startup or small businesses usually fail in that. And there's a reason why big companies grow and they do become big is because they have invested in that brand, that vision, that mission, and separating themselves from the rest of the crowd. They're not lost in the noise. Brand gives you that edge. It makes you unique. It tells you how to connect with people at an emotional level, not just financial transaction.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty much knowledge about branding. Okay, so ma'am, what do you think branding plays a role? Matlab, what is the role of branding in a company or in an organization?
I think branding is a gatekeeper in a company. That's what I call it. So it tells you what you can do, what you can say, and how you can act. If, let's say, we give me a brand, any popular brand you can think of.
Uh, let's take Coca-Cola.
Okay, let's go with Coca-Cola. So
Yeah,
if we see
yeah,
Coca-Cola, right? So as a brand, it has positioned itself as something full of joy, something full of happiness, something that is to be shared, the concept of togetherness. As a company, if they do not have those values, and now if they go out and talk and start selling rifles, let's say, and start promoting extreme ideations, right, or start treating their employees in a non-friendly manner, then it will not work. Their company will crash and fall because then there's a conflict.
yeah,
So as a brand,
yeah,
it's a gatekeeper. It tells you how you can act, not just with customers, but with your own employees. It tells you how you can talk. You cannot, your brand limits your values. It tells you that if you're a friendly brand, you are a friendly brand throughout, inside, outside, as a third party, as a vendor, like whoever you interact with, it gives you an embodiment of what you can and cannot do. One of the reason why controversies happen, or why you see really big brands fail as well, is because they don't stay true to it. That's why there's always a brand manager that keeps a check on what's happening in marketing, what's happening in sales, what happens in PR, so that all communication stays consistent. Because if you are not following that consistency, you are not generating trust. You come across as a confused and conflicted company. And as a result, you lose your employees, you lose your business, you lose your consumers. And what's the point of it then? Your brand literally gives you a guidebook as to what you can or cannot do, or what are the limits you
Okay.
need to keep in mind while taking any business decisions. So I would say that's the major role of a brand in a company.
Okay. So, matlab, like as you mentioned earlier, like startups neglect branding and the small scale companies also neglect branding. So, what are the pros and cons of neglecting a brand or neglecting branding? Yeah.
Okay, cons are that you wouldn't know, you will have mixed communication. So let's say you're going to send out one YouTube ad or a Google ad, and you'll be talking about, oh, we sell furnitures because it's the best cost. And then in the next video, you'll be talking about, oh, we sell furniture because it is Italian made. Then it will be like, oh, we sell furniture because it's unique colors. So as a consumer, you would not know why you want to buy from them, whether you want to buy them for
Yeah.
unique colors, or whether you want to buy them for the quality, or you want to buy it because it's Italian, or you want to buy it because it's budget friendly. So when you do not know something, usually, even with startup, because that's when they're trying to figure things out for themselves. Like they're also, fixing their own operations. They're trying to figure out what other things to do in a better way. But when you ignore it, you come across as a really confused and inconsistent brand, and it really affects your marketing. And because of which, people put in a lot of money in marketing and lead generation, and those leads never convert. The reason is because there is no brand consistent to it. There is no one telling you what you cannot say. There's no one telling you why you are unique in the market. Just because
Yeah.
I think I'm unique from my own perception, that doesn't matter to the audience. So the major flaw of not having a brand is to come across confused. Second, not knowing what you do yourself, right? And third would be, I'm sorry I say this a lot, but being boring. People, like companies who do not do good branding, they just come across as boring because they haven't figured out what their personality is. So when we just try to sell stuff, there are thousands and millions of people sell stuff every day, everywhere. Like as a consumer, I don't want to keep on seeing the same thing. Like I give me a phone, like why do I need to buy it? Give me a reason behind it. Just because you think it is good, it's not good enough for me, right? So when you don't do branding, you come across as boring. You lack emotional connect. You do not get your consumer to see you. You just like get lost in the sea of noise. Everyone is trying to say, "Oh, please come buy my product." That doesn't help. Only good thing I would say about not doing branding is that you save money. That's that.
Yeah.
End of the day, what I say is not actually saving money is a great thing. It's a short term win. That's what I tell people. If you don't do branding now, it's your short term win. Yes, you're saving money. Yes, you might sell products. Then you're leaving it all to luck. There are companies who do good even without branding, but that's pure based on luck. I am not a gambler. I don't like to gamble with my business, and I do not recommend my clients to do that. So, well researched brand is a path to success. While not investing in brand at all, you're leaving it out on its hit and win kind of thing. If you're lucky, great, you might do good. If you're not, then you're more destined to fail rather than to win. And saving money, like saving small bit of money now while generating losses in future or losing the market in future, it's not really a win as I see in the long term. So that's why I always say, no matter what company you are, once you figure out what is it, like once you have the concept of what is it that you want to do, start answering a few questions for yourself on brand. You can do it yourself. You don't just need always an expert to go to. If you are very clear and you can keep your emotions separate from your company, yes, you can create a brand that works for you. So
Yeah, actually, I would like to highlight a point where, when you mentioned like branding is the branding is highlighting the personality of a company. So that really hits hard. So yeah, it is actually true. Okay. So next, I would like to ask, ki branding is branding only important for companies, or is it also important for personals, individuals to brand to go for branding?
individual as well. And the thing is, if you won't do it yourself, people don't realize it, or even companies don't realize it. The brand is already built, it's a natural process. As I said, it's a perception. So,
Yeah.
whether you say anything about it or not, people have a perception of who you are, people have a perception of your company, people have a perception of your product. The reason what branding does is that it helps you control that narrative. You tell people who you are rather than them trying to think about or make assumptions in their own head about yourself. Personal
Yeah.
branding is very important. Company branding is there for sure. But as any individual at all, there's always like, do this exercise with your friends. Go to them individually. Ask them what are the three keywords they relate you to with, and you will see a commonality in each of them. That's your brand, you know.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
whether we put in effort to create our own brand or not, I would say that giving this privilege to people to let them decide who you are is not a fair thing to yourself. So investing in personal branding is must. Tell, like, as simple as that, define your values, who you are, talk about it, represent. And also it's not just about what we say, it's about our actions. If we embody our values, that's how we are perceived, and that's what becomes our brand. And your personal brand really helps to grow a company as well. So again, if you take an example of Oyo, right, it was Ritesh Agarwal's brand that helped,
Yeah.
like, he's the face of the company, right? So it was Oyo as the individual company itself which invested in branding, yes, but it was his own personal brand that helped it grow, that embodied that values and persona and gave it a life. And it's a very similar thing you can see in Amazon. If you see Jeff Bezos and the way he operates, it's very similar to how his company operates. Or if we talk about Elon Musk. So every individual brand, it lifts your company or your business or anything you do up, and it builds you into a thought leader. It gives you a platform where you can communicate your ideas, where you are known and what you're saying matters. So I would say, whether you, if you are ever planning to do anything in future, always invest in your personal brand. It doesn't even have to be your own company. People who invest in their personal brand, who like create, who work on themselves, they get better job
Yeah.
opportunities, better promotions.
Okay.
They get more, what do you call it? They get, I'm missing the word. Basically, they have a better public reputation, and hence people are more prone to believe what they say and work with them, and be associated with them rather than a random person who might be 10 times more talented. So you need to know how to
Okay.
showcase talents.
Okay. Great. So I think we can have some questions from the audience also. So if anyone has questions, they can post it on in the comment section. So let's take the first question. So it is from Puri, Puri Jigyasa. Uh,
Yeah.
what what are the fundamental components of branding?
So Puri, the fundamental contents of branding are, I would say, let's start with your purpose. Know why you exist. Second is mission. What is it that you're doing? Like why you're doing this? What is it that you stand for? List down the values that you have. List down why is it that you are different from the rest of the crowd? What is your USP? And once you know all of that, it will help you determine what kind of personality does your audience want to connect with. Your personality, when I say brand personality, is not just based on you. It's based on the persona of your audience. It's who they want to connect with, right? After that is your positioning. What value do you hold in the market? Why is it that people come to you or they should come to you? It doesn't have to be your USP can be you're selling a product that is 10 times faster, but your positioning is very different. Your positioning could be people come to you because your customer service is flawless, right? It doesn't necessarily has to be the same, like same thing as the USP. So work on your positioning. The best thing to do is go to the audience and ask them, why do you come to us? What makes you a repeat customer? You will get the answer to that. And after that, I would say this is your brand strategy. Then comes the brand identity, which is creating logos, creating your visual identity, being unique with the product. Like the Coca-Cola bottle is one of its kind, right? That's why it's so easy to identify. And then work on the visual identity. Third is the communication. Find your tone of voice, which matches your personality, and create a core message. Send one message to people. Do not try to tell them you know 10 different things you want, but it doesn't work. Always stick with what is your core message you want audience to relate with and do that. And stay consistent. Say one thing 1,000 times, it doesn't matter. And trust me, next time they see your product or you or your service, they will know what you stand for. And they'll be like, oh, we want to work with you because you have always talked about high quality. So once you
Yeah.
do these three steps, which is the strategy, creating brand identity, and then brand communication, you're sorted. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, you did. So, chalo, next, move to next question. So, next is from Ajinkya Dhole. What is the key to popular our brand?
Ooh, the key element popular in the sense of publicly known, I would say there are two ways to do it. One is to invest in good marketing. Understand where your audience is. Not every audience is on social media. Keep this in mind. And also be very clear on where on social media your audience is, whether it's Instagram, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's YouTube or Facebook for that matter. Find which platform your audience connect with and which platform they do want to connect with you. You need to think from your audience perspective how they want to communicate to you, whether they want a daily flyer from you, do they want newsletters from you, or do they just want to come on Facebook and see what you're doing, what are the updates or what are the offers, or are there any new schemes that are out? Use those platforms. People do what I call, like, they call it holistic marketing, which is like you spend money in popularizing your brand on all platforms together. It doesn't work. Do target marketing, and that will help you reach to the right audience and make your brand more popular among them. Keep one thing in mind, not every person is your audience. Hence, you if you're
Yeah.
targeting people, you will not be popular because they don't care what you're selling. So always target your audience, your market, to be popular. So just invest
Yeah.
smartly.
Yeah. So, okay. So, that was quite an answer. So, next question is from Saksham. Every brand name tells a story. Is it true?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you a secret. No, no, it doesn't. Every brand, yes. So it's like as a brand, yes, every brand tells a story, but a name, no. It doesn't
Okay.
necessarily needs to a brand name doesn't need to have a big long backstory to it. And I, as a brand person myself, I'm gonna tell you that yes, it is more of a marketing gimmick than a real thing. what you do as a brand tells a story. There is always a brand story, but it has nothing to do with your name. Like why something is called Apple doesn't matter. What matters is Apple's story, that how Steve Jobs actually built it, and what was
Yeah.
his vision, what was his mission, what was he trying to do, what was he trying to accomplish. But what, or if the name was a really core part of building this entire brand around it, that's usually not the case. In some cases it might be, but not in like in daily life. It doesn't happen often. It's very, very rare.
So it was
I
an
think
icebreaker for, I think, all of us.
the brand community now, they're gonna like kick me out for saying
Yeah.
this.
No, actually, it was an eye opener also, because most of us believe that brand name tells a story, and brand name plays a very important role. Or maybe it plays a primary role. So it was an eye opener. Chalo, let's move to next question. Yeah, so it is from Nilanjan Roy. How to increase brand awareness?
Okay, so your brand awareness completely depends on what product or service you are selling. It's not, there's no common answer to it. So if you Google it, you'll find like there are 5 or 7 steps they talk about, like um, talk more, like write blogs, do content marketing, post, be more active on social media, be more engaging with your customer. But those are just theories. In practical life, you have to be very clear on what your product is. So for increasing your brand awareness, let's say, I'm not sure whether it's service or product, because both the industries are very different, or whether it is B2B market or B2C market, the
Yeah.
entire strategy of creating brand awareness is very different. So I really don't know how to give you a specific answer, but yes, people do use marketing as a way of increasing brand awareness, which is uh, going live on social media, interacting with people. The best way to generate a perfect brand awareness is create one campaign that has one message only. Okay, do not try to tell people what everything your product can do. Just be very smart with it. Create one campaign, go live on the platform which is essential to you, and start interacting with people. Giving out giveaways doesn't help anymore. People are not into free stuff. The psychology has changed. They're more into value that they are generating. So instead of giving out free stuff, give them something worthwhile. Give them a tip or a trick to use your product better, or tell them a fact about how the product was manufactured, or how, or if it's a service, talk about how is it that your service has made changes. Like give proper real life concrete examples. No fluff, get rid of fluff, that time has gone, no one cares about it. So for your brand awareness, be very, very clear on your message, and do one campaign and monitor it for like 3 months, and you'll be good to go. That will be the best start for it. So yeah.
Okay, great. So I hope that answers his question. So next question is from Saksham again. Individual
Mhm.
brand name is more effective or an umbrella brand name? Okay.
Completely depends on your brand architecture. So there are different kind of brand architectures, right? There is one which is house of brands. Um, okay, let me give you a real life example. No technical stuff here. Unilever. Unilever owns so many different products, and each of them has its
Yeah.
own unique name. It has Pantene. It has Dove. It has, like, I don't know, other stuff. It has too many to remember, right? But each of them has their own brand name. Each brand has its own persona as well. That's one strategy. It usually happens when you are in a lifestyle brand or in a food business, because if one product fails, or if there's a controversy in one product, it will not affect your other products. You know, just because Pantene turns out to be horrible as a product doesn't mean it will affect any valuation of Dove. But if we talk about, although Pantene is not bad, I'm just giving you an example. Um, if we talk about another brand which has similar brand name, FedEx. So FedEx has multiple brands. I'm not sure if they're in India, but otherwise they do. They have FedEx Services, they have FedEx Courier, they have FedEx Finances, like different products altogether, right? But if one FedEx messes up, it's gonna affect the brand value of each and every company and each and every product that they own. That is
Yeah.
more safe when you have one established brand already and you want to create a new product, which is low to medium scale risk. And you want to leverage the brand value of that well established product to your new services, then yes, that's the perfect brand strategy. But then
Yeah.
you should use the same name, which you're talking about, the umbrella name. Go ahead for it. The one that I personally like is the hybrid model, which is combining both of them. So you like what Google does, Alphabet. So Alphabet is a hybrid model. It has Google, and then it has Google Maps, Google Images, Google Phone, I don't know, like all Google products. And then
Yeah.
on it has other products which has nothing to do with Google. So this way, their high-risk products are separate from their one brand name, which is Google, and they have leveraged the value of Google for their rest of the brands, which is maps or images or
Yeah.
whatever they come up with. So it completely depends what kind of business you're in, how much risk. How much risk is it that if one brand name gets spoiled, it is going to affect the other if it has the same brand name. So you have to be very, very careful
Yeah.
about it. So completely
Yeah.
depends on the risk-taking capacity of the business itself.
Okay. So that answers this question. Next question is from Divya. What are the characteristics of branding?
The characteristics of branding. I think I answered this before, which was so you can divide branding into three parts. One is brand strategy, identity, and communication. So your brand strategy defines who you are, what you do, and why you exist. So those are your purpose, vision, mission, your positioning, and your USP, right? And when you have all of those things together, that's when you turn it into something visual, which is your logo, which is your website, which is your visual language, which is, the colors, what colors are you using, which defines your brand identity. Third is brand communication, how you talk to people, what is your core message, what are the platforms you want to communicate with them. So all of these things together is what branding is, because it's your end-to-end journey of your consumer. It's your consumer journey in which what they feel about your brand or your product or your company, because that's what defines it. So the characteristics of branding can literally be divided into these three sections: strategy, identity, communication.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. It is from Niharika. What is the key role of brand manager and how can we get our holds onto the same for a job profile under the same field?
Okay, I'm just gonna read this again because I got confused in the last bit. For a job profile under
Okay.
this field. Okay, let me answer the first thing. The key role of the brand manager depends from company to company. Is one, in a small scale company, the brand manager's role would be to create and develop new brands, um, be a custodian to entire marketing and PR communication, making sure that everything is consistent, nothing is going out. Third will be overseeing the partnerships. As a brand, you have to be very careful who you're partnering up with. It's not just about money. Keep that in mind with your business. You need to keep your brand safe. Like um, if you are standing for, it's a very bad example I'm giving, but I can't think of anything else right now. But let's say you are watching TV. Okay, this is something which happens in real life and it's horrible. So let's say you're watching this Mahabharat on TV, and in between there's a advertisement of condoms. I want to understand what target market you are going for. How does it help? It doesn't work. So you need to be very careful. Like the key role of the brand manager will be to make sure that they're not selling, like they're not showing condoms ad during Mahabharat, because that's not reaching your target audience at all. And it, as a brand itself, it's going to have a negative connotation. You're
Yeah.
it does. So that's what brand manager does. It literally protects the brand to make sure what partnerships, what communication, what information, and how we interact with people, what is going out. Also, as a brand manager, you are responsible in making sure that your brand as an asset to
Yeah.
the, right? You have to keep in mind that as a brand, what is the type of initiatives you can take to grow your business? What
Yeah.
things you can do better in your processes within the company to make people and employees more connected to the company. So I say it's a very important role that usually in big
Okay.
companies, the concept of brand manager is managing the reputation. That is just limited to being a customer and managing all the communication that's going on. So it really depends which company you're in. How you can get a hold on this same for a job profile? I don't know. Maybe LinkedIn. Maybe I just not sure I'm the right person to answer that question. Usually in every company, let me just give you some more information on this rather than saying something which I don't know. Is the person who takes care of your brand is either your CEO or your chief strategy officer, or if it's a big structure, your marketing officer. Be very clear on where that structure lies, because irrespective of who you're reporting, your job stays the same. If you are looking to get a like to understand what that job profile holds, it may vary from company to company. Your role overall be similar, I would say, but it will not be same. There is no concrete way to it because it's a combination of art and science. This is what the brand is. It's not just science and it's not just art. So every company views it differently. Their objectives are different. So be very careful when you're talking about brand manager. It's not a marketing position, or it is not a sales position, or it is not a customer service position, because that's what people confuse it with. So when you're going through
Yeah.
the job profile, look at being the custodian of the company, to be taking care of the communication, of creating new products, and like be the brand manager, managing the company, new initiatives rather than being a customer service or a PR person for the brand, for the company. Sorry.
So, okay. So, I think that's it for this question. Okay, let's move on to the next one. It is from Isha Gulati. What are the fundamental components for a successful brand?
The fundamental components are one is consistency, like be consistent in every communication and everything you're doing. Third is important that what do you call that brand more than just your communication. If you can get your employees, if you get all your stakeholders to represent those brand, no matter where who they're interacting with, that's like the major win you can think of. Another is being unique, not being afraid to be unique. In this world of chaos, when you stand out, it is a good thing, irrespective of, as I said, not everyone is going to love you. So have that courage and strength to be different and stay true to it. Another thing is, please do not oversell. Just be who you are. Because the biggest mistake every brand does is they try to sell more than who they are. And that's how you disappoint a customer. That's how you lose people. You lose a loyal following. Another is, do not no, let me put it in a positive way. Let's not go with do not things. Um, don't change your core messaging. If you talk about, if right now, let's say Dove, if Dove is talking about beauty, which is within every one of us is beautiful, and suddenly it turns into and starts sponsoring Victoria's Secrets runway shows, it doesn't help. You will always, if you are like, again, it comes all to consistency. If you're not consistent with your action, your words, your values, your action, the way you think and way you talk, your brand doesn't exist. Be very clear on what your goals are and who your target audience is, and talk to your target audience instead of talking to everyone. The most successful brands are the one who do not try to be common. People who are specific, to the point, and they're very clear in who they are talking to. So just
Yeah.
do that.
Okay. Great. So next question is from Amritsari Taste. Okay. How can I promote my brand? I think it is the company page only. So yeah.
Yes, no worries. So the best way to promote a B2C brand is social media. Go and be active on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and talk about your product. Talk about how you make your product. Talk about all the things that you do for your customers, and get user generated content. It's good that you're putting your content out there, but interact user, make them connect with you on an emotional level. For example, if like there was a campaign I did a long time back, which was really successful, in which we used to ask people, why do you want to stay in our hotels and our places? And people used to give, like, put Instagram, like they used to go to the hotels, take a picture and put it on Instagram and talk about why they like that stay. So this way, you're getting your user information. You know what they value in your company, and at the same time, they feel valued, that they are there and you are, interacting with them in person. That, oh, they're special. The best example of promoting your brand right now, what is the name of the company is it's the Carrot Lane's sister brand. I think it's called Shire, if I'm not wrong. The smartest thing that they did to promote their brand is, in their box, they say that, take a picture, here's your jewelry, take a picture with it and post it on Instagram with these hashtags. And when you do it, they repost your picture on their page. And as a result, you feel, oh, I'm so special, I have become famous, I'm like on someone else's page, and they're like talking about how awesome I look in their jewelry. So this promotes your brand, not just directly, but it also talks about, it's word of mouth. So just because I came on their page, 10 of my friends would also want to come on their page, hence they will buy their product. So this is how you promote your brand.
I think there's a network issue on ma'am's side. I think let's just wait for some seconds. Yeah, so
Like,
okay. Yeah, no problem, ma'am.
awesome.
Okay. So great. I think that was it for this question. And do we have any more questions? Yeah, so it is from Saksham. Who are the major players in the branding space, means brand agencies? And thank you, Chahat ma'am, for a wonderful session.
Thank you, Saksham. Um,
Hmm.
it really depends whether you're talking about brand identity, communication, or strategy. For brand identity, you will find in India there are a lot of people who does that. I would say, Glitch is a good company. Animal is a good company. Rebel Studios is one of the best companies I have ever worked with. That's a Polish company, not an Indian company though. Um, So you can always find like these three are the ones you can always go for any branding needs when it comes to brand identity, which is like creating a design and like creating advertisements or creating actual material. If you're talking about
Yeah.
communication, it depends. Like I would say, go with the local players for your communication because they know the target audience better. So if you're located in Delhi, find your local brand communication managers or your local brand communication agencies. Go to them. Also, networks like Network 18 and CNBC, all of these have brand communication teams that can help you meet your own goals. For brand strategy, I would say come to us. We are really good, which is
Yeah.
my company is called Impact Study Biz. So it
Yeah.
is we are really good with what we do. The reason is right now in India, you will see that most of the companies which do brand identity, they sell you brand strategy as well. So there are no companies who sell just brand strategy. And I think that's where the fault is because brand strategy is very different from brand identity itself. Brand identity is a trickle down effect of that strategy, not the other way around. So I always ask people to get it done from different places with their expertise rather than just going to one place, getting the design, and then building the strategy around it. So yeah, but there are a lot of brand strategy agencies in US that you should try. Fahrenheit is one of them. Like they're really good. Boomerang in Europe is one of them. They're really good. And in India, I am yet to find a good brand strategy company. But in US and Europe, you will find a lot of good options. In India, you have me.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I think this is to an end of our session. Okay, no, we have one more question from Sarthak. May you narrate the strategy which, according to you, was very successful in establishing a brand?
Um, so brand strategies are like you can literally pick any global brand and go with it. My favorite brand strategy will always be Dove because they they changed how to sell a soap. If you look at every other soap in the market in the world, it's completely different. Every other soap is a commodity, while Dove is not. It has literally become a name for itself, right? That's what branding does. Their strategy was to tell people that they talked about what their soap was made of. They differentiated themselves that hey, everyone else soap harms your face. Look at us, like our soap makes it soft because we use milk, like it's three-fourth milk. I don't know how much
Yeah,
fourth milk folk milk in it, and they stayed true to it and they embodied that strategy in their packaging. You can see that milk pouring in that Dove thingy in their product. The Dove soap, it has a line that goes in it. So it's literally when you pour something, you get a very similar texture.
yeah,
Taking that strategy, putting it into your core message, putting it in your advertisement, putting it in your product, your packaging, your logo, and talking about a vision rather than, hey, I'm here to sell my product. When they talk about their comparison, their USP, when they talk about that everyone is beautiful, when they talk about that if you take this soap, it's not that you're gonna become white. It's not fair and lovely. They say that if you use this soap, your skin is gonna get better, softer, and you don't need to change because you're just beautiful the way you are.
yeah,
And
yeah.
working that strategy towards the end mission only, it has done wonders for that product. And that's the reason it's one of the most successful product in Unilever.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So I think that answers this question. Okay. So let's move forward. Yeah. So I think that's to an end of our session. Everybody is really happy with our session.
I'm glad.
They are really thanking you, ma'am, for such a wonderful session. Everybody is happy. So yeah. So okay. So Puri Jigyasa, thank you, ma'am, for sharing this information about branding with us.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy that I could talk about it because I think branding is not a very well-known subject. People get confused
Yeah,
with elements of it, and whatever chance I get, I love that I can talk to people and let them know more
yeah,
about brand and its importance.
yeah. So, for your certificates, you can collect the certificates from the link given in the chat box. And stay tuned with Thinker's Point because we'll be back with another exciting session next week. Yeah. So, thank you so much, ma'am. It was pleasure having you with us today. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Isha.
much to take
Really,
out your precious time to interact
very
with Thinker's Point.
really fun and love to like spend time with everyone and answer all their questions. It was really good. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Stay
So, thank you. Thank you so
See
much,
you.
everyone, for being such a great and such a wonderful interacting audience. So, yeah. Thank you and have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye.